Hello, friends, and welcome to the LPW show. We are spiraling towards Speedball Strikes First in Edmonton on September 29th in the Rec Room. We are joined by someone who needs very little introduction. One of the, by my estimation and by the estimation of many other people, one of the best professional wrestlers in the world, Speedball Mike Bailey. Mike, how are you, friend?
Thank you very much. I'm great. I'm at least the 30th out of the 500 best wrestlers in the world in the most official ranking for professional wrestlers that there is, which is kind of an unfortunate thing. I wish there was a more objective ranking around, but that's the best we've got for now.
I mean, it's a pretty good tentpole. I mean, like, everyone can refer to it. Everyone knows it. So, you know, it's got its merits.
It certainly does. It's got some merits.
Now, again, you're coming to LPW. This is actually the first time we have named an event after a talent who's coming in. Speedball Strikes First. Speedball yourself. Did we put you on the spot there?
I feel like there is some pressure. There will be some pressure in the match to literally strike first. I mean, it would be wrong if he did, but that's okay because I usually am the first one to strike anyways.
There you go. We'll all be watching very closely to see who actually lands the first blow. Watching very attentively. I've been wanting to ask this of a wrestler for a little while because it's such a different landscape with pro wrestling. Like, there's signed talent who are making independent wrestling appearances. I'm wondering, as a contracted talent, is there any kind of like additional pressure in representing Impact Wrestling when you head to the independents?
I mean, I don't know if it's additional pressure. But yeah, no, it's more of a sense of pride, I think. I'm proud to represent Impact Wrestling, and I mean, we have a mutually beneficial relationship, right? In that Impact Wrestling gives me a bigger platform than I've ever had in my whole career to perform and you know, show my skills in front of new fans, but also wherever I go as an independent wrestler, I carry the name Impact Wrestling, and it's something I hear a lot of. Oh wow, I had never heard of you before this. You're on Impact Wrestling. I'll start watching Impact now, which is absolutely fantastic.
But we are spiraling towards, again, if you're a fan of like Canadian wrestling from coast to coast, we're spiraling towards a Canadian dream match. Yourself versus Michael Richard Blais, God's gift to wrestling. How do you feel like heading into this contest?
I feel like he's a champion, and I don't mean, I'm using a much older version of the word champion, like not like, you know, he has a belt or the typical wrestling definition of champion, but he really carries the weight of a whole scene on his shoulder. And I had a match with Artemis Spencer last year, who I felt was very, very much in the same position, which is a great position to be in. I think I could have easily been in that position and sort of representing Montreal, except I didn't stay in Montreal long enough to do that, except kind of during the pandemic. But he definitely has a lot of people looking up to him, and I think that he has a lot of pressure going into a match like this. But in my experience, wrestling someone in his position always gives a great result, because I'm sure that's something that he's looking forward to as well, and will certainly be ready for it.
What do you think, what's the biggest threat that he poses? I mean, he's got experience, he's got pedigree, he's got the clandestine society backing him. Like, what threats are kind of like coming your way into this match with MRB? So,
not only is he a great wrestler, he's a great teacher as well, a great coach and a mentor. And it's a different thing, right? You sort of become conventional if you're wrestling around and traveling a lot, in a good way, in that you get to adapt. But when you're teaching and working on your own specific skill set, you tend to develop something that is hard to deal with. He definitely will develop his own unique maneuvers, and that's definitely going to be something I'm going to have to overcome.
Yeah, how do you counter something like that?
You watch, you pay attention. I know that there's a lot of Michael Richard Blais matches on the internet, so I'm definitely going to find as many of those as I can and make sure I try to know as much of what's coming for me as possible.
You have to imagine Michael Richard Blais is watching this interview once it broadcasts. Is there anything you want to say to MRB directly?
Man, yeah. That he's doing fantastic. You know what I mean? And I think he's doing exactly what he should be doing for his scene, for his people. And I hope that he learns a lot from our match. And I don't mean that in a condescending way, even though I'm sure it does end up sounding condescending. But my goal will be to motivate him and help take him to the next level.
Marvelous. Well, again, September 29th cannot come soon enough for us wrestling fans. God's gift to wrestling, Michael Richard Blais taking on Speedball Mike Bailey in LPW 19. Speedball strikes first. Mike Bailey, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much for having me. Can't wait for September 29th.